Wall Street pumped like nearly $286 billion into the AI revolution last year. But today, corporate buyers are suddenly asking to see the receipts. Welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah, it's quite the reality check.
It really is. So today we're looking at a pretty bizarre collision from the August 24th, 2026 stack of the Daily Tech Reader. We are tracking these massive geopolitical shockwaves alongside a tech sector that is suddenly demanding a return on its AI investments.
Right.
And we're mapping out what this friction means for the global landscape.
Mm.
So, okay, let's unpack the sheer scale of economic pressure that's dropping right now.
Well, the squeeze is happening on multiple fronts simultaneously. So you have President Trump threatening 50% tariffs on Canadian auto imports starting January 1st,
Right.
which prompted Canada to basically queue up retaliation for September 8th.
Right.
And at the same exact time, you have Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who just announced these massive new sanctions on over 60 Iranian entities.
Oh, wow. So going way beyond just oil then.
Exactly, going far beyond oil to choke off gold digital assets and shipping.
But Washington deliberately bypassed penalizing major Chinese financial institutions.
Yeah.
Why hold back there when they're basically throwing the book at everyone else?
Well, it's strategic nuance, right?
Yeah.
Crushing China's financial sector right now would completely close the door on a potential Trump-Xi meeting.
Okay, I see.
So Washington is applying maximum pressure on those Iranian proxy networks, but they're leaving a very calculated gap in the wall.
Okay, so by holding off on those specific Chinese banks,
Yeah.
they preserve diplomatic breathing room.
Right, while still tightening the economic screws globally.
Yeah, and those tightening screws globally, they threaten the supply chains and the raw materials that the tech sector desperately needs to build out its physical footprint right now, which bleeds straight into the tech market because Wall Street is finally looking at these massive infrastructure costs and just balking.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, NVIDIA dipped 2.3% right before an expected $92 billion revenue report.
Yeah.
And Micron fell 5.6%. So if revenues are hitting $92 billion, why the sudden market panic? Wait, I mean, the U.S. attracted nearly $286 billion in private AI investment last year. And now corporate buyers are suddenly asking for the receipt.
Well, what's fascinating here is that the tech industry has shifted from the training phase to the inference phase.
Yep.
For the past 3 years, the narrative was purely about acquiring the chips to build the models. Just buy everything you can.
Right, just blank check funding.
Exactly. But now corporations actually have to deploy those models to generate a measurable financial return, and the physical overhead is just astronomical. I mean, a single next-gen AI training cluster now draws the same gigawatt load as a mid-sized city.
As an entire city.
Yes.
Well, so corporate buyers aren't just looking at software ROI. They're factoring in the raw costs of copper and concrete and watts.
Right. Developers are actively fighting for long-term nuclear or geothermal contracts just to guarantee uptime. So the panic isn't about doubting the software's capability. It's the realization that physical scaling requires finite physical resources.
But even with infrastructure costs bottlenecking the market, the actual outputs, the AI applications themselves are accelerating past what we expected.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I'm looking at the reports out of Beijing, and Chinese humanoid robots just set new world records for sprinting and jumping.
Yeah, it's incredible.
We aren't talking about clunky lab experiments anymore. The internal motors and dynamic balance sensors are reaching these fluid, really athletic levels. And simultaneously on the software side, OpenAI just rolled out ChatGPT for Teams.
Right, which puts a ton of pressure on platforms to beef up youth protections. And those two developments really illustrate a massive dual-track governance problem.
How so?
Well, society is struggling to govern both physical and digital AI at once. The mechanical constraints of physical AI are dissolving. I mean, a humanoid robot that can outsprint a human requires an entirely new framework for physical safety and operational limits.
Yeah, trying to regulate these two distinct forms of AI simultaneously is like trying to write traffic laws for flying cars while they're already hovering over your neighborhood.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
You have the physical threat model of autonomous robots on one side, and then the psychological safeguard requirements for vulnerable teenagers on the other, forcing platforms to mechanically filter outputs for developmental psychology and self-harm.
Exactly. You have one side of AI rewriting the rules of physical labor and biomechanics, and the other side embedding itself into the cognitive development of adolescents.
Wow.
Society is being asked to adapt to both realities in real time.
Which brings us back to why this really matters to the person listening right now.
Right.
These macro forces are dictating the price of the car in your driveway due to cross-border tariffs, and deciding whether your local power grid stays stable when a massive data center moves in down the road.
Yeah, the collision of geopolitical resource maneuvers and this physical AI expansion is completely reshaping the supply chain of everyday life.
And it leaves us with one final provocative thought to just mull over.
Okay.
If digital AI is already absorbing complex, routine, administrative, and analytical jobs, and physical humanoid robots are now breaking actual sprinting records on the track, how long until human judgment and accountability are the only skills left to put on a resume?